Good morning. It's exactly 10 a.m. So I have the huge privilege and honor. Yeah, please take a seat. Yeah. To start and welcome all of you to the University of Economics in Katowice for the, in fact, for the third day of the International Research Symposium in Service Management. Actually, there is a second day of the very intensive presentation of our participants, keynote speakers, the guests. I would like to welcome very warmly at our university Professor Jay Kandampul, who is the founder and chair of the International Research Symposium and Service Management. So welcome again at our university. I would like to also welcome very warmly our keynote speakers for today, Professor Stéphane Ganasali. He's the professor of marketing at University Savoie-Mont-Blanc in France. I have also the privilege to welcome and to introduce you Mateusz Hilkner. He is the senior operator manager in Amazon Poland. Welcome. Because actually our day, well, during the whole conference, we are discussing different aspects of the services, how to do the service business, the issue related to the service management. We look at the services from the perspective of the company and also from the customers. But there is also one very important issue, which is nowadays one of the hot topic, which is the sustainability and sustainable development in the service sector. So that's why this day we would like to dedicate to the sustainability. Even if later we will have the parallel sessions, so at least one session will be dedicated to sustainability, sustainable development, sustainable consumption. But even after lunch, we will have very special, very unique discussion panel dedicated to the different problems and challenges related to the sustainability in the service sector. So that's why I would like to also welcome very warmly Professor Jolanta Zrałek. She will be the leader and chair of this special channels. During the day, we will host all other members of the panel and discussants. So Szymon Kowalski, who is the Vice President of the Polish Wind Energy Association and Resource Poland Hub. We will host also Magdalena Hilkner. She's the manager and legal advisors and Ernst & Young Law. Also, we will host Michał Szalast-Daokwaj. He's the leader of the Sustainable Finance section and BNP Paribas. And Michał Wyszyński, president of the management board and co-owner of Accident Forest Poland. As well, Mateusz also will join us for this panel. And Aleksandra Burgier-Szewc, she's the professor of our university, and her field of research is related to the sustainable consumption. I would like to also welcome very warmly our keynote speaker from the very, very important workshop which took place on Tuesday. So John Ball, Professor John Ball from US, Professor Sirkant Beldona, he will join us soon. Professor Baron Keating, welcome. And Professor Yüksel Ekinci, who were leading all the workshops during the whole day. And our dean, Professor Justyna Matysiewicz, she's the dean of the School of Undergraduate and Graduate Programs. I have also very big privilege to welcome all participants of the conference and also very special guest of today. So the students from the high school, together with their professors, with the teachers, we cooperate with this high school, and we are very happy that you find the time before the summer break that you joined our university and you could experience how fantastic life is at the university, and hopefully the next year or in 2 years you become the students of our university. But well, the time is running. I would like to introduce the first keynote speaker, Professor Stéphane Ganasali. As I mentioned, he's a full professor of the marketing at the Faculty of Economics and Business at the University of Savoie-Mont-Blanc in France. He's a teacher. His teachers and research experience is related to the marketing research and consumer behavior. He's also served as a scientific advisor at La Sphinx, the software company in France, for over 20 years. In this context, he's collaborating with so many important businesses, including the L'Oréal, Bass, Orange, or Decathlon. He's the founder of the European Master of the Business Studies. This is the joint, very successful joint master program run by the 4 European universities from France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. He's been involved in many international research and educational projects. Among the others, he's the member of the Horizon 2020 project and many Erasmus strategic partnership. He published several books for the stage publications and research articles in high-ranking marketing journals, including Psychology and Marketing, Journal of Marketing Management, Qualitative Market Research, and Journal of Consumer Affairs. So we have very big honor to welcome at our university, and well, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning. So my name is Stefan Ganasali. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Smiček for inviting me and Professor Jay for inviting me to give a speech for that conference. So this morning, I will talk about service assessment, right? And how consumers express their experiences when they face services. And one of the new trends recently in the 10-15 last years of the way consumers express their assessment are what we call the consumer-generated content, CGC. And those CGCs, so probably all of you have personally, I don't know, posted a review about I don't know, one of the services you have experienced as a passenger, as a hotel guest, as a restaurant guest. Maybe you felt so bad or so good that you wanted to share your experience with other customers. And as you know, probably in the same way as customers nowadays, if you arrive here in Katowice, you want to go for a pizza, maybe you will go on, I don't know, TripAdvisor and check what consumers say about the pizzeria, and probably you will decide to choose or not to choose that place because of the reviews you will be reading. So all that information is called CGC, Consumer Generated Content. So maybe I need this to change. Yeah, so this is about the agenda. So as you can see, I will start very quickly to talk about the rise of CGC recently. And then I will explain how, because one of the challenges, there are two challenges with CGCs actually. The first one is, of course, making sure that it's honest review, that it's not fake, right? And the second is how companies, how service providers are doing to analyze, right? To get insights from those CGCs. And to analyze this textual data, we need some specific procedures, and I will try to present some of those procedures and how to get insights from the analysis of the consumer-generated content. So those methods are text mining methods. I can see a bit what is going on. Thank you. I will introduce a study case that I will use as an example to show how those methods could be implemented. They are exploratory or confirmatory. I will try to explain them a bit more in detail. And I will try to dive into the data and see whether consumers are talking about sustainability in those reviews or not. So a few words about consumer-generated content. So as you know, consumers are expressing their opinions and experiences more and more on various platform channels, like opinion advice websites, community sites, forums, so social networks. So there are more and more platform channels on which consumers can express their experiences, and all of those content are called CGC. Companies are quite interested about CGCs. Why? Because, once again, when they are true, when they are honest, when they are not fake, they can bring a lot of interesting information. So they could be considered as rather spontaneous, right? It's not like you receive a questionnaire from the company and then you have to answer even if you are not really interested. In that case, the consumer does it spontaneously. It's widely available, so the data is easy to get. It's very cheap, which is another asset of that kind of information. And yeah, it's kind of private conversation between the firm and the company. So more and more players on the market are interested in those information, and they are going to use them as source of insights to make some marketing decisions, to improve the quality of service, even sometimes to innovate in their services. The main problem we have with that kind of information, and now I'm going to move to more methodological content. The main problem is that CGCs are textual data most of the times. And as you know, textual data is what we call very unstructured. They are not numbers. There are so many quantitative and numeric data available, and they are very much used because they are precise, but also because they are easy to process, right? It's very easy to do mathematics, right? I mean, with the software or something, you can do calculations. It's so easy, right? You have 100 consumers telling you, okay, I grade you from 0 to 10, then you have an average point. Easy, everybody can do it. But if you have 100, 1,000, 10,000 consumers speaking, expressing their opinions with open text, that is getting a bit more challenging to be analyzed. But intuitively, we know that from that big amount of text, probably we can get much more insights than just a number from 0 to 10, right? Excuse me. So to analyze those data, fortunately, we have all text mining methods. So I'm going to present quickly some of the text mining methods that can be applied to analyze consumer-generated content. Fortunately, in the last years, they have those techniques, those software that are implementing those techniques. They have progressed a lot because of the pressure of the available data. So now we have more and more data to analyze. So engineers, researchers, they needed to think, to develop, to invent new techniques, and this is what they did recently in the 10 recent years. So the methodologies have improved a lot, and they also become more democratic. What I mean more democratic is that you don't need to be a programmer. Well, 20 years ago you could do that with the famous R software, but you needed to study 20 years of programmation before being able to, I'm exaggerating a bit, I'm sorry, but you needed to be a programmer to be able to use that kind of software. Nowadays, they are kind of Windows programmed, so it's you can use them more easily, even if you are not from the IT. So I'm going to present some methods. I'm going to use a study case to present them. So some of them are exploratory, some other ones are confirmatory. So the main difference is that sometimes exploratory, as you know, it's just about diving into the data without any predefined ideas, without any clear research question, what you're looking for. And on the other hand, confirmatory, if you have a clear research question in mind, you want to see, for example, if young people or old people have different types of expectations, or whether they experience the services in different ways, this you will go for more confirmatory approaches. So I'm going to use a study case, and so it's a real study conducted on real data. So the data comes from a website that is rather serious. It's called Skytrax. And on that website, airline passengers are posting their reviews about the airline they experience. And you will find the text, but also other information, like that kind of information. So they give a grade. They explain, well, how they experience the service, and they also describe the plane, the route, the seat type they had. And what is interesting in that website is that the reviews are verified. So before being like ticked as verified, you need to send your boarding pass and other information just to prove that you actually attended the flight. So we have collected reviews, well, as you can see, it was a few years ago, and they were, because we couldn't take everything, it's like a huge database, we decided to take reviews from 3 airline companies, 3 European airline companies, Lufthansa, Air France, and British Airways. And we, of course, we use the software to analyze the data. So I'm going to start with exploratory methods. And the first very easy thing that you can get in those exploratory methods is the word cloud. So this is a word cloud that you can get very easily. And from the word cloud, you can see very, very quickly what are the main topics, what people are talking about. So as you can see, they speak about a lot of different topics, from the airport lounge to the boarding process to the luggage delivery. So all the different stages of the service are covered here. And yeah, altogether, this database represents 160,000 words, and the average, the median length of the review is 61 words. One of the available methods to explore the data without any idea about the content is to do an automatic classification. So there are many processes. One of the most popular is called IRSSM procedure. So the idea of the IRSSM procedure is to identify words and expressions that have been quoted together by a large number of reviewers. And then the software is dividing those groups of words into clusters, into classes. So it's a usual classification method. We know that for, let's say, quantitative data, but this can be also applied to textual data. And I'm not going to explain the algorithm in detail, but you can find, of course, the literature about the IRSSM procedure. It was published in different journals. It's actually, technically, it's a descending hierarchical. It's a very difficult word for French people, this one. Can you help me, John? Hierarchical. Yeah, this is nightmare for French people to pronounce this word. So it's progressive, right? Classification, descending one. And it produces the groups, the main groups. So it's completely blind. The software tells you, okay, there are 4 groups of reviews. And here in that case, some of them are talking about comfort and attention. And you can see the words on the left top of the map related to that topic. Then the issue management and so on and so forth. Of course, the name of the clusters are not decided by the software. the researcher has to interpret according to the words that are grouped into the class, how to interpret, and in that case it shows the 4 main topics discussed by the passengers within their reviews. Another process that can be also used is what we call the concept identification. So in most of the software dedicated to text mining nowadays, those softwares include what we call a thesaurus. A thesaurus is a kind of dictionary where the words are classified automatically into topics, subtopics, and things. So for example, if we take orange, orange will be classified, well, this is a bit challenging, orange, but it's going to be classified in the agruma, which is classified into the fruits, which is classified into another category, and so on and so forth. And you will find also orange in the colors, right, that goes to another category. But the software is a bit clever because according to the words surrounding orange, the software is able to tell whether it's a fruit because, for example, it's associated with juice, right? Or if it's, for example, flag, and in that case, it will be associated to color. And the software is able to tell you, okay, this text talks about, I don't know, fruits, politics, and you can have an automatic identification of the main topics covered by the text, thanks to those thesaurus. They are working very well, those thesaurus, when the text is very general, for example, political speeches or books or something. When the text is very specialized, it doesn't produce very impressive results. Another, of course, that is very, very popular nowadays in the exploratory section of those methods is the sentiment analysis. So all software of that type include also a dictionary that is able to assess whether the text is positive or negative. So it's kind of artificial intelligence, right, process that according to the words, the adjectives used in the review will be automatically assessed as being very positive, rather positive, neutral, or very negative. So they have a kind of big dictionary with all possible words, expressions that people may use when expressing an opinion, and they will try to recognize the use of those words. And let's say the reliability is rather high nowadays, like 95% of the reviews are properly assessed. Of course, if you use irony, if you use, let's say, some special words that are very specific, the software will not be able to assess. So in that case, you can see all the reviews. So as you can see, most of them were positive, but we have almost 25% of the reviews being negative. And yeah, so then you can, of course, go for some more, let's say, interesting analysis. We wanted to check, well, in my mind, I thought that Lufthansa was the best and Air France was the worst, right, in terms of the, I don't know, in my representation. So you can see with the assessment of the different airlines that Lufthansa is doing a bit better, and that in the end British Airways is the one that was globally assessed with the lowest expressions, reviews. We can also, on the right, you can see that you can also compare the assessment according to the traveler type, so being business or leisure or family. And we can see that here also the assessments are a bit different. Now let's go to confirmatory methods. So the idea of the confirmatory methods is that you have let's say a research question in mind. You know exactly what you want to assess, what you want to measure in that big database. So you are going to create the instruments, the measurements so that your research questions can be answered. So the main instrument for that is what we called ad hoc dictionary. So ad hoc dictionary is a dictionary that is going to be created by the researcher in order to tell the software, okay, those are the words that are going to represent the topic I'm interested in. Okay, if I want to measure sustainability, probably there is a list of words, a list of expressions that represent sustainability, and I can track the presence or absence of those words in the reviews to tick whether consumers mentioned or not that word. So, for example, and then you can create a new, you can recode the text, so to speak, and then do further analysis, being comparative or multivariate. So I will show you some examples. So first, we were interested in the adjectives that were quoted, like how to express the experience of the trip. So we coded the I think they are the 40 most quoted adjectives in the database, and we compared the adjectives with the grade that was given by the passengers. So you can see from the left to the right side the way consumers expressed their experiences from the least pleasant to the most pleasant. So they talked about some ridiculous, terrible, rude experiences, awful, and in that case they gave less than 4. On the contrary, if they talked about something being professional, attentive, excellent, fantastic, delicious, superb, and so on, they gave 9 or 10 out of 10. So this was a first attempt to link the key positive and negative adjectives with the overall grade. Then going into a more thematic analysis, this is a dictionary that was done in order to identify what topics were covered by the passengers. Okay, so there was a long work to put all the possible words and expressions. Like, for example, if we want to talk about lounges quality, it would be lounge, business lounge, senator lounge, etc. And so we defined what words, what expressions are linked to one specific topic. And as you can see, some topics are put together into a big section. So what do you think is the most frequent topic mentioned by the reviewers in this database? Okay, the most quoted is food, right? Or food and beverages in general. So as you can see here, the catering quality was quoted by almost 25% of the people. So then you can see the other topics, and what is interesting also is that considering we had the year, you can see how the different topics were more quoted, less quoted with time, and how some topics are getting a bit hot with time within all those reviews. So this is a cross-analysis of the topics according to the year when the review was posted. You can also see here, crossing the content, the thematic analysis with the sentiment analysis, that some topics created positive experience and other ones created more negative experience. So for example, on the left side, you can see all the topics generating negative experiences, while on the right side, for example, entertainment and IT services, the quality of the catering, the qualities of the crew were associated to positive or very positive reviews, while luggage operations, flight punctuality, problem management, and this is specific to Lufthansa, right? So the company, this is not done for the three airlines, but just focused on the reviews from Lufthansa. So based on that, they can see what are the strengths and weaknesses and what are the topics creating more negative or positive reviews. Of course, at a certain moment, you need to go back. It's like a trampoline, right? You jump, you do some nice analysis, but you need to go back to the earth and read what the people say. So for example, after coding, you can read what people say, in that case about British Airways, when they talked about catering and the grade was less than 4, what are the problems they experience. So I'm not going to read it because it's very small, but at least it gives the managers also something that is very operational, a part of knowing that people are not very happy and that there is a problem on that topic. They can then dive into those reviews that are particularly bad or that are mentioning that topic, and they can read more in details what needs to be done, what needs to be improved in the services they have proposed. And now I'm going to move to sustainability, okay? So I wanted to check, because Professor Smichek said, yes, we are going to talk about sustainability today. So I did a kind of special research, putting all the possible words and expressions and adjectives related to sustainability. There are even some dictionaries about it. And I just jumped into the database of those, I think they are almost 3,000 reviews. How many of them were mentioning something about sustainability, about being green, being not wasting things, about being respectful of the environment, making some efforts about the carbon footprint or gas emissions. So what do you think? How many of them, Professor Maciejewicz, do you think? 200. Okay. It's less than that. So only 5 of them out of 3,000 mentioned sustainability. So as you can see, it seems like sustainability is not mentioned into the passenger reviews as an excuse for being happy or unhappy about the service. And this made me think. But because I found waste, right? So I thought, yeah, they care about the waste of the, I don't know, of the plastic or something. No, they care about the waste of time and money, right? They also talked about environment. So I went and see, yes, they talk about the environment being the environment of the cabin, not the general environment. And something very funny, I found green. So wow, they said, yeah, British Airways is so green. No, green is about the green curry, right? They care about green curry more than the green planet. Okay, so we are very bad, right? But what is the problem that it made me think that maybe there's a challenge for the service providers, because consumers are concerned, right, about sustainability, I think, in general. So if we can do a more sustainable flight, okay, maybe flying is not very sustainable, I know, but maybe there are more or less sustainable flights. And maybe we can give I don't know, our priority to more sustainable flights if we know how to choose, right? If we can perceive the difference between flights. So but it seems like service providers don't seriously work on the sustainable customer experience. So this is something I start being very interested in the customer experience, right? And maybe there are some possible discussions this afternoon about that. How to make the consumers experience something sustainable, okay? Of course, you can say, yes, we are sustainable and blah, blah, blah. But, well, I think we are quite good to have the consumers feeling well treated, professionally treated, cared. This we know how to do it, right? Or to have a personalized service. I think people know how to do that. But how to produce a sustainable customer experience? That's a question. And I didn't find so many things in the literature about it. I found a definition. So the sustainable customer experience is a process that creates, I'm just reading, sorry, that creates holistic value thanks to the consumer's engagement derived by sensations, feelings, cognitions, and behaviors evoked by sustainable stimuli. So, how companies, how service providers will be able to develop those sustainable stimuli and to make the sustainable experience a part of our global customer experience? This is a question I'm asking. I know that in the hospital industry, because I could see it in some papers, some first results, so this is Bata 2020, and that's my last sentence, some first results show that some explicit sustainable practices can enhance, from the point of view of the consumer, the sensory aspects of the experience, re-enchant the customer, and helps also the chefs, the cooks, right, to develop their creativity. So there is probably a room in all the other services industries to try to think and develop this sustainable customer experience. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Because there is the unique opportunity to ask the questions. Of course, we will have also the chance during the coffee break to discuss in more informal way. But if you have the urgent questions, you are very welcome.
No, I think it's at least one of them, right? The idea. It's, of course, ideally, if you can manage to develop in your service offer different types of those experiences, that's perfect. But at least one of them could be enough. And but once again, there are things that I think need to be researched and developed. Thank you.
Any other questions? Or some comments? Yeah.
So would this mean that, say for instance, if it was a shorter flight, and I was surprised that they put food as the most important thing. If it was a shorter flight, possibly food might not be important.
Yeah, I didn't present the results, but of course the different criteria are, because we also have the duration of the flight, right, as a variable in the database. So I didn't present all the possible analysis that we can do, but yes, you're right, the different topics may be different according to the duration of the flight. But still, we can see that the food, well, in general, catering, let's say, what you get, apparently you expect to get something, right? And most of the time, even for a short flight, you expect to get, you know, Swiss, I will fly Swiss this afternoon, they gave a chocolate. They give something, it's for free and a bottle of water. But apparently we expect to have at least this. If we get nothing, we are unhappy, I think. This is what I could notice.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? So we can see that we are sustainable, but only if it's something close to us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Professor, I just have one small query. Like, when we do this kind of thematic analysis, so you use some term like dictionary. So we have some that is pre-planned dictionary, like I have heard people use, or we create of our own. Means I want to know.
It's a very good question. So with time, there are more and more, let's say, predefined dictionaries that you can find. For example, if you are looking for customer experience dictionary, You will find it easily online or in previous papers, depends if they produced. But if you go to a very specific new hot topic, it's more difficult. So sometimes you have to do it by yourself, right? And work with your research team and test it a bit. And but with time, we have more and more. For example, you even have in the service industries, now you have dictionaries even industry related. For example, there is one for banks, for the banking customer experience. You will find a dictionary available. But if you dive into a kind of new topic, probably you will have to do it by yourself.
Right, thank you very much. If there is no other, yeah, okay, Chang.
Thanks. I know that you mentioned AI in the sentiment analysis that you use. Are you finding that the dictionary building is changing with use of AI, or is there a transition happening there as well?
Yeah, because, okay, I will try to answer based on the knowledge I have, right? Which is not completely, sometimes, yeah, as you said. So, yeah, they are improving the dictionary because, but this is about the dictionary development itself. So you start with the first version, right? And you compare with the human coding, right? Because this is how we do if we want to do it seriously. So it's a bit demanding, but for example, you take 1,000 reviews and you ask experts to code them manually, right? A group of experts. And then you define your dictionary and you see with time how the dictionary will reach, right, the performance of the human people that are considered in the end rather good, right? So this is how they do it. They do it like iteratively. And the dictionary will be considered, let's say, valid when it will reach a similar quality to a group of experts. So this is what it should, I mean, if we want to do it seriously, this is how we need to do it. So it's artificial intelligence somehow, if you want, but very simple.
All right, so thank you very much. So the rest we can discuss during the coffee break. So
yeah, I should have used Amazon reviews actually to do it. I'm sorry, I didn't know, but of course it's a huge, of course, database that probably maybe you can tell us what you do with this textual data. But
anyway, thank you so much for very, very interesting presentation, very provoking, and giving us the moment to think about it, especially if we are talking about the services and all of us, we are flying in different way. Also from the methodological point of view, it was very, very important presentation for us. And so thank you so much. And now I would like to invite our second keynote speaker. And the idea of Professor Jay and I, there was like, we will make the combination of the theory and the practices. So one of the professors and one person who is from the business. So we have the huge privilege and honor to welcome and to invite Mateusz Schilkner, the senior operator managers of the distribution center of Amazon in Poland, nearby. So it's our neighbor. He has been involved in Amazon operations since 2016. During this time, he managed various teams and different areas in Amazon. He was responsible for managing sustainability and environmental in Central Eastern European customers' fulfillment operation. What is also very important for us, and this is good for also for you, I'm talking about the students, that he graduated our university. So he's alumni of our university. So we are very proud of our former students, and he's also the scholar of the Technical University of Munich, as well as the Vienna University of Economics and Business. So the floor is yours.
So good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the introduction. As Professor Smyczek mentioned, I'm a graduate of this university, so it's a great privilege to be here once again, but this time not as a student, but as the presenter. And I would say that last time so many professors and doctors I saw during my master thesis defense, so it was quite late ago, but okay, thank you. Okay, I would like to talk about the e-commerce and the wordplay moniker, let's say, air-commerce, because what you can see during the presentation, there will be information about shipping air and the fillers in the packages all around the world, what generates a lot of waste and a lot of, let's say, empty transportation, what is not beneficial both from the sustainability point of view and also from the economical point of view. Okay, I would like to start with the short movie from our partner company. It's the Hasbro International. How Hasbro approached redesigning the packaging, redesigning the filling of the packages, and produce frustration-free packaging for the customers. And later on, after the short movie, I would like to talk about the frustration while unpacking or unboxing the deliveries we get through the e-commerce shopping.
It's incredibly frustrating when you're sitting with a young child and you're trying to get in to open the package for them and all they want to do is play with it. Now I'm going to actually have to undo all of this stuff. I feel like I'm on a journey. Just a tad frustrated. It only took a couple of minutes or longer.
When Amazon first approached Hasbro about frustration-free packaging, it wasn't quite on our radar yet.
They came to us about reinventing our packaging and our process around it. This is a frustration-free package. Simply open up my package, slide the insert out, unlock the tab, and there I have it.
The core principles of frustration-free packaging is that it's first and foremost easy to open for customers. Designed to reduce waste, it's 100% recyclable, was developed with the customer in mind.
Frustration-free packaging is when the consumer purchases it online, it arrives to them in that box without having to go in an extra Amazon box. So right there, we're cutting down on waste. We're allowed to shrink the footprint of the package quite a bit. Switching to frustration-free packaging, we can see a savings of up to 50% or more in material usage and in shipping volume.
You feel great about it at the end. You've opened it up, you have less waste. It's much easier to grab that stuff and put it in a recycle bin and go.
As a parent, as a packaging professional, I do care deeply about sustainability, and that's why I want to make packaging that generates less waste.
Thank you very much. I hope that we all had the same experience with unpacking the boxes we get through the internet. It's like fight with the fillers, with the boxes and other stuff putting inside of the boxes. As an e-commerce, we are inspired by life. So if we would like to make the good first impression, this is the time we can do it. By sending the packages and ordering via e-commerce, the first customer contact with the product and the company itself is done during opening the boxes. And when you open the box and you see a hefty dose of fresh air inside and the fillers, like here on the picture we have the corn-shaped chips or the padded mailers or the air pillows inside, it's not the best what we can send to our clients. Also, it impacts the delivery itself because the package at this time is a bit bigger than it should be for the product, and at the same time it weighed more than it should be for this kind of product. And that was the case of Amazon in the past. When I get hired to Amazon, it was 2016, we had just 6 types of boxes for the European market that we used for the units sent from Amazon. So let's imagine that you just ordered a small portable speaker and you get the box the size of this TV screen. So it was unwise. That's why we decided to make the range of the available packaging bigger and best suited for the items we would like to send to our customers. So here some numbers presented by the British packaging company DS Smith. DS Smith calculated and assessed that every year in Czech Republic the air is shipped in the amount of 9.3 million cubic meters. So for Poland, this number is 5-fold of that. So let's imagine that just for the Czech Republic, it's the equivalent of 3.7 thousand Olympic swimming pools. So this is huge waste, first of all, of space, but also of the resources. And it's not good for the business, as mentioned before. Sustainability, it's also very good for the economy development of the company. And in Amazon, we decided to focus especially on the crafted packaging to the units. So let me take to the short journey how our system, our algorithm works, and how we can fit the product to the best suited packaging we have at this moment. So in the ideal world, we should send the customer the items with the manufacturer's packaging just by putting the shipping label on that. And this process is called SIOC or SIOP in Amazon. It means ship in own container or ship in own box. In this perfect situation, we assume that the producer, the manufacturer, put all the efforts to make the product safe inside, so we just have to put the shipping label on the box. In other case, if the additional resources inside are needed to make the box safe, we do the additional packaging, but this packaging has been changed over the years. We skipped the plastic boxes, we skipped the plastic bags, and put everything into the recyclable corrugated cards and the cardboard and the paper. So here's a special case when we cannot just ship the items in the original producer's pack. Here we have the wine glasses. So shipping it in the white box for sure will cause the damage. And by sending the items that can easily be damaged during the transportation, we not only generate the waste in case of fuel usage, but also we generate the waste of the resources and the product itself. So we would like to avoid that, and for that reason we use the special fillers that has changed over the years. So at this picture we have the fillers like the bubble wrap that we designed 3 years ago, and now we are converted to fully paper corrugated cards that looks a bit like the bubble foil, but is 100% made from the paper. And also we use the special shaped forms to protect the box inside of the bigger box that can be transported with less care than normally. Here we also have the TV screens, and in the previous years when you ordered TV from the Amazon in Europe, it was packed for sure with the additional cardboard, with the additional air pillows at the cardboard, and at this moment this is the perfect situation when the manufacturer take care of preparing the TV screen to being sent to the customers. So in this case it's just the putting the shipping label on the card. And here's some numbers. Over the last 5 years we decreased the outbound packaging weight by 38%. That translates to 1.5 million tons of packaging material saved just on redirecting the algorithm to create new ways of packing and creating new packaging systems. And that number includes 60,000 tons just of the cardboard. And this number is saved every year. So these amounts are quite huge, and the number is quite hefty. So here's the perfect example how our approach to packing the fragile items have changed over the years. Here we have the air pillows, and the air pillows 6 years ago, it was the big invention. All the e-commerce switched to air pillows because it was cheap, it was fast, and you used less paper or other fillers to the package. However, going with the spirit of sustainability and taking care of the environment, we just skipped the air pillows and fully switched to paper and the cardboard that can be easily dismantled during opening the package. From my personal life and the personal example, I live on the countryside, so we very often ordered things via internet. So at the end of each month, when the waste operating company come to take the segregated waste, I have half of a garage full with the boxes, with the plastic fillers that need to be segregated. And from the customer's point of view, I know at least 5 other things I would do that time instead of segregating the waste to being taken by the company. And here's the example based on the Hasbro experience. The child toys are quite tangible and resistant for being destroyed. So why we should use the plastic, why we should use the wires, why we should use the cardboard inside the packaging to protect it if the toy itself is strong enough to survive transportation to the client. And here I would like to talk about the algorithm we use in Amazon to pick the best possible packaging for the units. And through the algorithm and the algorithm adjustment over the time, we reduced almost 55% the external cube of the packages. And as mentioned before, 5 years ago, it was just 6 different types of the packaging. At this moment, on the pack stations, we have at least 20 different sizes, 20 different types of the packaging we can use in Amazon to send the items. Starting from the boxes that, to be honest, are less efficient, since there is always some space inside, through padded mailers that are reinforced envelopes with the wave-shaped reinforcement inside, to just the M folders. If you ever ordered a book from Amazon, it was in the M folder, so it was like 2 separate cards binded together to protect the book, as it is really hard to destroy the book during transportation. But even if we have the algorithm, we save some decision to the packers. So if the packers see that the box is too big, or the recommendation being made by the algorithm is not good enough to save the space inside, the packer can take the decision and change the recommendation. And the machine learning and the system is learning from our packers. So we also based on the experience of Amazon employees that can improve the efficiency and sustainability of the packages. As for the climate pledge we announced back then, we would like to be net zero carbon till 2040. And to achieve that, we can first of all decrease the packaging, but also concentrate on reducing gas emissions and the transportation related emissions. And how the packaging, how the transportation is impacting the logistics and the fuel emission of the trucks, it is simply by the weight. If we're sending too much fillers, if we're sending too much air in the packages, and we are not using full space of the trucks and the trailers, we are simply wasting the resources. So to reduce the emissions on the roads, beside the packaging, we also concentrate on the design of our trailers. Perhaps you saw on the roads the blue Amazon trailers with the smile on the side, and that trailers are specially designed with the mud flaps and aerodynamic skirts that reduce the that improve the aerodynamics of the transportation, and this has the direct impact on the fuel usage. So all of these improvements made in the trucks simply saved 100 gallons per year per vehicle. So this is equivalent of 370 liters of diesel fuel per year. And to make the scale and show how much gasoline or diesel we can save, I would say that the small size warehouse or the small size distribution centers every single day depart 50 trucks. So if we have the medium or the big size fulfillment centers, it is 150 trucks per day. In Poland itself, we have 10 fulfillment centers. In Europe, it's almost 70. So just multiply that numbers per year, and we have pretty huge number of swimming pools fueled with diesel. Reducing the emissions from the long-haul distances is not the only thing we concentrate in Amazon. We also use the algorithm not just for the packaging, but also for calculating the road and make the roads the most optimal way we can ensure to our customers and to our internal operations. So first of all, we have the special teams dedicated to adjusting trucks to particular shipments. So if we have the small shipments, we shouldn't use the big trailer and put it half empty to other destination, but we have the small vans, we have the small buses and 7.5-ton trucks. And also we have the algorithm that creates the milk runs. Milk run in logistics is the most efficient way of delivering units or delivering shipments to the customers and to the sortation centers. Normally, it worked like that. That's from the fulfillment center. After putting the order, the items have been departed to the distribution centers, and the distribution centers just distribute via couriers the items to the customers. At this moment, we try to fit as many directions into one truck, and the one truck is going to the sortation center. In the sortation center, where all the trucks are coming from different fulfillment centers, the products and the shipments are collected and divided for the special destinations, and from the sortation center, it's going directly to the distribution centers where the items, without losing fuel and impacting negatively the environment, are delivered to our customers. I would like to say some words about the sustainability from the legal point of view and the regulatory issues. As mentioned before, in Amazon, we work to reduce the impact on the environment. However, we are supporting also the legislation and the institutions like the European Commission that would like to introduce the packaging and packaging waste reduction policy to reduce the number or the quantity of filler used in the packaging. And here as Amazon, we would like to not only reduce the filler, but we would like to completely remove the external packaging and encourage the manufacturers, the producers, to use their own tangible and resistant packaging that will survive transportation. And the only thing needed from the fulfillment will be placing the shipping order. So not by just reducing, we are able to achieve the goals before 2040, but by complete elimination of the external packaging, we are able to achieve the goal of reducing carbon emissions. And also, it's not just about our own invention, about our own design. We are working together with the partners all around the world, here just from the United States. However, also in Europe, we are the part of the organizations supporting low emission transportation on the roads. We are the part of the Multimodal Transportation Association and the Association of Alternative Fuels. Thanks to that, we are able to convert our traditional fleet being fueled by the diesel to the trucks that are fueled by electricity and by the gas. And in recent years, we as Amazon obliged ourselves to create the fleet of e-vans and e-delivery trucks. So at this moment, we are introducing 100,000 electric Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans and our own fleet of the Rivian delivery cars. And also in Europe, we create the big fleet of gas-fueled trucks and electric-fueled trucks for the short line-haul lines. And we also open for the next advancement in the technology to allow us to use the electricity and electricity power trucks for the longer haul all around the globe. So from my side, that's it about the Amazon approach to sustainability and the packaging. And now I'm open for the question from the audience if there are any.
Thank you very much. So, any questions? Yeah.
Thank you for a very interesting presentation. My question is at the next level, have you thought about your overall model? Because I think you tend to use more a hub and spoke model. Mm-hmm. And have you thought as well, I think there are some gains to be done, probably you've been working on it, revisiting this model. And now we're talking a lot about customer engagement, where customers can also play a role, which will reduce part of your logistic of a last mile or last kilometers of delivery. Have you also given thought to, I was just wondering, to these type of interventions, not only on packaging, but also on the overall transportation logistics? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we have the specialized teams that work, as you mentioned, for example, on the last mile delivery. So it also has changed the way we deliver packages from the distribution centers to the customers in the particular cities. Before it was like dividing the shipments for the day for 6 or 7 trucks that going through the city. And now we also use the algorithm that calculate the best routes basing on the addresses of the customers to make the longer possible course during the day, delivering the packages without impacting negatively the environment. And also in the bigger cities, bigger agglomerations, we are trying to use really sustainable transportations like the bicycles, and also we have a kind of the rickshaws, so the bicycles with the cargo unit at the rear of the bicycle. And also we are using automated delivery systems, so it's like the robots delivering small packages in the biggest agglomerations. But the delivery, as you mentioned, is not the only possible way to reduce the waste and to impact the environment. Needless to say that Amazon, besides the fulfillment that is well known, we also have the Amazon Web Services. And here we need a lot of power to generate and to fuel our servers. So we buy the green energy, and we are creating our own wind power units and solar power systems to simply fuel our server base.
All right. Any other questions? Yep.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation, very inspiring. Did you check that, because when we compare, for example, for the toys, for the dolls, the old packaging with the new one, so the new one is much more simple. What about the safety? What about the way the product is delivered in the end? Mm-hmm. My question is, did you check whether in the end you lost the quality, I mean the protection, right, of the product, because basically, as we can see, there's a lot of additional things to make the product better protected, right?
Yes.
And did you check whether there is an impact maybe on the quality of the delivery and on the protection of the products in the end with this new generation of packagings?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you for the question, and I have to say that we do. We have the special called concession reports that are taking all the claims made by the customers that something has been broken during the delivery or part of the package was missing, and we are monitoring what is the root cause. So before launching the new type of the packaging or the padded mailer, whatever it is, or the filler, we make the tests. And the tests at the beginning are made internally in the Amazon and during the inter-distribution centers transfers. But then we are going with the new packaging for the markets. And also for the old type of packaging we have, or the, let's say, tried packaging, we have the report of concession. So every week, each fulfillment center and globally, we monitor what are the types of the claims made by the customers. We have the customer returns department where we also monitor what was wrong. And we divide all the cases for separate root causes. For example, the liquids inside that simply through the packaging and flow into the box. We have the glass item that has been broken during the travel. We have the external packaging that also has been damaged during the delivery. For example, if you buy a pair of shoes, it's in the manufacturer packaging. And the packaging can be simply shipped to the customer without adding any additional protection from Amazon side. But you have, for example, collectioners' shoes, like the special series promoted by any celebrity. And then if the external packaging already packed into our packaging is broken, we also have to verify what is the root cause and what we can do better to protect the units. And all the findings are implemented to the algorithm, and the recommendation are changed for the packers to take care of the items in the future.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Thank you very much. Referring to Professor's question, if it comes to, you mentioned mainly, or actually entirely, on that you base your packaging on paper and cardboard. So basically, actually, on my personal experience, when you deliver a product that can be easily damaged by damp and, for example, water, basically, electronics, books, do you have any solution on these, on this problem? Because, for example, once I ordered a book and the book was simply damaged from the damp. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question. First of all, when sending electronics, we know that the producer already put some protections inside. So let's say you are ordering the portable speaker, and the speaker is already secured by the manufacturer. And from our side, if it is recommended by the manufacturer, we just send it as it is. But if we see that it can be destroyed, but for example, water or the rain, it should be protected from the destruction. But looking at the logistics operation, the only contact with the rain on the water should be during delivery from the delivery van to the door of the customers, since all the process is being made under the roof, starting from the manufacturer, going to fulfillment center, where the trucks are going just close to the buildings and they're standing under the roof. So there's no way it could be destroyed during the transportation. And we all know that logistics it's not as perfect as we think about that. So we take care of the packages. We try to secure the products, but during the transportation, very often the boxes are being throwing together with the employees just to make the process speed, and there might be some distraction over this process. But looking at the claims and the customer returns, this is not often the case. So what is really important, if you get something from the company and the product is destroyed, just make the claim, because this is information for us that something is not working properly. And we take care in the future to change the way we pack the units to prevent such an occurrence in the future.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, okay. Xian.
Thank you very much. And I'm just reflecting on my personal experience as a customer, as an Amazon customer. I'm very much aware that Amazon has like different options for customers, such as next day delivery, and always impressed of how efficient that is. So there's a choice for next day delivery or like normal delivery. And even with packaging, there's gift packaging. So I'm just wondering, these different options, does that mean impact on sustainability differently, from the operation side? Mm-hmm. And the related question is, has Amazon done any market research in terms of customers' experience? Refer back to the previous talk about sustainable customer experience. So would customer aware of all the effort that Amazon has taken, or customers are just impressed with the efficiency, the efficient service that Amazon provided? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
Even if I want to add, I would like to add this, because if the customers are the stimuli of this action, which is undertaken by the Amazon, right?
Yes. So this is a good question, and also now I remember that I forgot to answer your question about the reviews on the Amazon website. Yes, we are researching the information we got from the customers from the Amazon website, so we can see what is wrong, what can we do better. It's not sometimes just the packaging review, but we also received from the customers the strange situations, the photo of the strange situation or strange packaging. So for example, last time I received the information about the customer complaining about getting the AirPods in this size packaging. So definitely this was a mistake. It's not the sustainable way of shipping. But we checked the recommendation we have in the algorithm, and there was a problem concerning the cube of the item. In logistics, we measure the items we ship, so we can have the good measurement inside the system, so we can adjust the packaging to the size of the item. So we use the Cubiscans, that's the machines that create a 3D model of the item that can be best suited to the packaging. So sometimes mistakes happen if someone, instead of using that machine, just put the number with fingers on the keyboard. And sometimes that might be a simple mistake and a lack of differentiation between inches and centimeters. So that happens, and we react on that from the web page. And also based on the customer reviews, we are launching series of surveys to the customers after the delivery. We also based on the external researches. For example, the tendencies from the customers concerning sustainability has been measured last year in Poland by the Ecobarometer. It's the report prepared by the external research company that shows what are the trends on the customers market and what are the expectations concerning the future of sustainability, and what is really important for the customers. And also we see that from one point of view, sustainability is crucial for the customers, and they are eager to develop that way of packaging or the deliveries. However, taking into account the economic situation and rapidly growing inflation, the customers don't want to participate in the costs of the changes. So we see what are the expectations, what are the blockers. However, part of the inventions or the changes or adjustments in the packaging are being made by ourselves. We also declared the net zero carbon emissions by 2040, so it's 10 years earlier than Paris Treaty. And we would like to stick to that date without any changes. And the last question about the different types of packaging with the gift pack or the gift wrap, it has been also changed. In the past years, we use more plastic made packaging for the gift wraps. At this moment, when you're ordering gift wraps in the European fulfillment, it is mostly the bag, just with the small wire or something like that, just to close it inside. And this is not impacting the operations, since the number of gift wrapping is relatively small in the fulfillment center. So it's not like 10 or 20% of shipping inventory. It's around 1 to 2%. So it doesn't impact the operations. It doesn't impact sustainability. And the last question concern the one-day delivery or Amazon Prime Now. So this is also quite interesting. You can get what you ordered to 1 hour from placing the orders, but it works only in few cities around the world. It's not impacting the sustainability, it's impacting the operations, because after placing the order, the system or the algorithm is looking for the unit that is closest to your destination, to your address. So normally when we have the production plans and we have the plan for the day, we are not picking or preparing the units that should be delivered immediately or in 1 day. But if you place the order with delivery promise to 1 day, then the algorithm is forced to choose the closest locations to yourself. But it's not impacting sustainability. It may impact the cost.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other questions? If not, so thank you so much. As we see how many questions you got, it means it was very, very inspiring and provoking presentation, and also the company, which is almost all of us, we are the clients of this company. So thank you so much for this fantastic presentation. And for both keynote speaker, we have the special diploma and the small gifts, which is the record of our career. And also the homemade chocolate made by the local company, Salesian company. So you have, at least you can listen and taste the Silesia spirit. So thank you very much. Pictures, yeah. Why not? So maybe we can stay in the front. All right, so thank you very much. And right now we will have the break. We are going to meet again at 12 o'clock, but at 12 we are going to start the parallel sessions. So one team will go to the classroom 3:15, another one for 5:15. So I would like to say thank you to our students from the high school, together with the teachers. I'm so happy that we can host again here. So thank you so much, and hopefully we will see during the next next event. And the participant of the conference I would like to invite for the coffee. It's the same place like was yesterday. And we will have 35 minutes for just more questions and of course to relax. All right? Thank you so much and see you in a half an hour. Thank you.